All right. I think we're all set. Looks like I'm live. Make sure I'm. If you can hear me and if I sound all right, if you don't mind hitting that number 1 in the chat box there. Can you hear me? Jamie K with the 1. Again, if you can hear me and if I sound okay, if the audio's all right, hit that number 1 just to make sure that I'm not sitting here wasting your time, wasting my time, talking with people that can't even hear me. So I only sound good for Jamie K. Is that what I'm supposed to understand right now? Nobody else can hear me. Q. All right. All right. Looks like. There we go. There we go. It's Red Tiger. Very good. Okay. Jeff or golf. Okay. All right. G off. Golf. Golf. I guess you say that. Anyways. All right. Cool. Cool. You were good. Well, hopefully. Thank you, Kurt. Hey, it's Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. Hopefully everybody has their drink of choice. Going with some coffee. Let me know what your drink of choice is on a Saturday morning. Drink of choice on a Saturday morning. That is what I'd like to know right now as we kind of wait for maybe a few more people to get signed on. Also, if you've been to a Saturday morning coffee session before, reminder, please hit that like button. If you have never been here to one of these coffee mornings, then that's okay. Don't hit the like button. Welcome. It's great to have you. But like I said, no need to hit the like button because I understand you don't know if you're going to like this. But if you do know you're going to like, make sure you hit that button. Q is with the orange juice. Kurt is with the coffee. All right. All right. Thanks, Red. Kevin. Oh, Team Orange Juice with the lead right now. Team Orange Juice with the lead. Fred, Kai Garden. I don't know. I've never heard of Kai. Is that a drink? Kai Garden? Is that like a tea? Jim is with coffee. Miguel with coffee. All right. All right. Well, we'll hop in. I'm gonna start with just an analysis of just the overall market SPY. But the way it will work is this: if you have a request on a stock, on a forex, on a futures market, on a crypto, let me know and I'll go over the chart. If you have questions, if you want to have a question about a prop firm, maybe prop firm strategy, just kind of whatever. This is very laid back, relax as we prep for the new week. And just I don't think there's any need to do it right now. But if the crowd does increase, which track record suggests that the crowd size will increase as we go. But $5 super chats, make sure that I'll for sure do your request and I'll do it right away. So you don't have to do a super chat, but the only risk there is you may make a request and maybe I don't see it or I don't get to it until like 20 minutes after you make it. But if that's not a big deal for you, if that's a risk you're willing to take, then yeah, no need to do a super chat. But if you would like for me to do something and for me to do it right away, then like I said, a $5 super chat will get that done. So again, hit that like button. Let's see if we can at least get up to 10 here. 3 more likes for 10. That'll be a good initial start. Where are we at? Miguel, coffee, Hoover. Oh, just good morning. Jeanette, lemon water. I heard lemon water is good for you. Yeah, I think it isn't supposed to be like lukewarm too or something like that. Or am I just making that up? I might just be making that up. All right, well, we're going to hop right in. So let's take a look at just kind of build a little bit of context here for the overall market with SPY. Last week talked about how we had this trend line and how I thought it was going to be pretty important. And it kind of was important, but almost not really. Now, from a trading standpoint, which is what I think a lot of us are, it was nice in the sense of Monday, the price just gapped down below the trend line, which would suggest, okay, it's bearish, it's gapping down below the trend line, and it was bearish on the day. So if you're a bearish bias, which I would argue you probably should have been on Monday as it gapped down below the trend line, I mean, it did make a pretty, sizable move to the downside to be able to, get some gains from there, from again, a bearish bias person. But after that big gap up, so right here, again, it closed there, then the next day it gapped and opened right there, and the next day it opened up right there. So, I mean, a couple of big old gaps on the week, and ultimately, from the lows all the way up to where it closed, quite the impressive week, especially within the context of a technical chart, where the week started with that breakdown of the trend line. So you got to give credit where credit's due. I think there's still a lot more work that needs to be done, but nonetheless, it was a situation where the bulls showed up quite a bit. Good morning, CJ. And as of now, I think, oh, actually the price, wow, okay, I thought it was still right at that level, but technically speaking, we had this area of a former support, so support a bunch of times here, support right there, and then just basic technical analysis. When supports are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and that is exactly what played out here. Acted as resistance, but then Friday, the price actually closed a little bit above it. So, like I said, I just at the naked eyeball test, I thought that it was still actually a little bit below that resistance. I didn't realize it even managed to close up above it. So we have a little bit of a breakout underway. Now, the one thing that, just to keep in mind, it doesn't make or break anything per se, but down here on the volume, very little volume. So, if this was a much bigger volume bar, that'd be pretty awe-inspiring, but that's the one thing to kind of nitpick of, the fact that it did break above there, but could have been a lot more, I think, attractive had the volume been higher there. But nonetheless, it's poked its head through there. So next key area of resistance going into next week, next big battleground and test is going to be, or seems to be that 50-period moving average right there, that purple line, which is right now valued up around we'll just call it $561 mark. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that, and if the price can push up through there, next key overall battleground right there, that 200-day simple moving average, which is essentially valued at 570. But yeah, nice overall move. And again, just to reiterate the context of how kind of impressive this week was. Started off very bearish with the break of this trend line, dropped all the way down there on Monday, and then managed to close all the way up there by the end of the week. So impressive. Again, if you are here and you have a request, but this is viewer driven. Like, as of right now, this is going to be about a 10-minute stream, because after this, I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about, because nobody's asking questions, nobody's making a request, nobody's doing it. So, I mean, like I said, Saturday mornings are viewer driven. So if you'd like for me to take a look at something, could be a stock, could be a Forex, could be a crypto, could be a futures market, let me know. If you have a question about a prop firm, question about prop firm strategy, got an idea about prop firm, this is viewer driven. So, again, if nobody's got any requests, then yeah, we'll just make this a 15-minute stream, and I guess that's fine. But like I said, I don't have any agenda other than just listening to wherever the stream wants to take us here. But looking down here on the 30-minute time frame, SPY, we will actually, let's get rid of that trend line there. I think it served its purpose for now. All right, there we go. Now we're getting some requests. All right, good. I will start to get to that stuff. Again, super chats bring it to my attention right away, but if you're going to be around, then just be patient, and I'll start at the top and I'll work my way down. So looking at the SPY here on the 30-minute, this is, I was complaining about volume on the daily, but volume here on the last 30 minutes, look at that. Very impressive volume with that move right there. So it's up above that area. We'll see if it can get some more continuation. Support-wise, preferably speaking, if the price can now begin to stay up above that 50-period moving average, that would be a good situation here. I don't know if the 30 minutes really giving us. No, really just kind of showing us. I think the volume bar is the most interesting dynamic from right there. All right, so there we go. Again, if you're enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. S-K-A-L-E. What is S-K-A-L-E? That's not a ticker, is it? S-K-A-L. I don't think it is. What is Q? What do you? S-K-A-L. I don't know what that is. I'd happy to take a look at the chart, but I don't even know what you. Okay. I need ticker symbols. Q. Scale, and I don't know what the ticker symbol for 23 and me is. George, do you want Tesla or do you want Meta? It's one per person. Then if you want another one, that's where the super chats go into play, or else we risk somebody giving me like a list of like 37 symbols, and then nobody else gets a chance. So if you had to pick, George, what would you like? Meta. Okay, let's take a look at Meta. Wayne, good morning. I tried my hand at futures yesterday for the first time. What'd you think? What'd you think, Wayne? What did you think? Scale is a crypto. Okay. Let's just. So Meta here, just like starting off on the kind of a daily look. Try to establish some context. So like you would expect, given the market as we just went over with the SPY, had a very crazy week. Started off rough, and I think that Meta was down here. It is now all the way up there. Very, very impressive. No doubt about that. Yeah, maybe that's going to be that initial area of resistance right there. Yeah, I could see this 553 mark being the first key area of resistance just because this was a support. And then it was broken, acted as resistance. Not the cleanest of resistances right there. So 553 I would look at as the initial area of resistance. And then after that, no guarantees, but really nothing until up here, that pink line there, 200 period moving average. So you got quite a bit of kind of almost like a little miniature blue sky breakout right here where there just isn't anything out there. Again, that does not mean that if the price pushes through 553, it's going straight up for sure without doubt to the 200-day moving average. I'm just saying that the chart does open up and you got some space right there. And then if it can get up through that 200 period, things get a little bit more congested because not only do you have these highs over here as resistance, you also have the 50 period moving average, which will continue to kind of make its way down and add a little bit of spice to the situation. Wayne, I loved it, but I lost some money on a dumb mistake learned in. Now, are you doing it through a prop firm, Wayne, or are you using your own funds? Are you trading futures through the prop firm, or are you doing it with your own money? Let's go down to 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minute here has a little bit. There we go. So I got a little bit of a bull pennant here. Let's get the golf hole down here. There you go. There's the pennant pattern. So 30-minute, nice little bull pennant. But this is also one of these situations where even if it does break out through the bull pennant, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's good if it can break up through the bull pennant. But as we just discussed on the daily time frame, I wouldn't get too excited because then the price is going to have to deal with that 553 mark. But again, breaking through, assuming you're bullish, breaking through the upside of a bull pennant, that's a good thing. Just saying, don't get overly excited about it. Wayne, Wayne, do you know what Pam's plan is, Wayne? Have you heard of Pam's plan? Because you are playing with fire, my friend, especially as a new person. Okay, yeah, Wayne. Oh my goodness, Wayne, please stop. I'm scared for you, Wayne. Wayne, stop, Wayne. Because I just saw your other message. Any strategy for futures would be nice to learn. Yes, okay, which is good. So Wayne, let me give you credit. I'm glad that you realize, hey, I'm not really quite sure what I'm doing here in futures. I should probably learn a strategy. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm glad you realized that. So please stop using your own money, Wayne. Please stop using your own money. Yo, you haven't heard of Pam's plan? Okay. Well, you're doing Pam. So this part of Pam's plan is the argument to do futures day trading. So if you're looking for day trading, futures is by far, and I can easily prove it, is way better than day trading stocks, options, forex, crypto. Way better. But Wayne, you're playing with fire because you're not doing the plan. You need to be trading through a prop firm, especially when you're new and especially when, like you just admitted again, to your credit. Yeah, I need a strategy. I don't really know what I'm doing. You already admitting to do something stupid and losing money. How much money did you, well, you don't have to tell me that. But Wayne, I would highly recommend you get into a prop firm, because a prop firm is going to offer you this, especially in your early phases of learning, added risk control, mainly due to protecting your own money. So with the prop firm, Wayne, real quick, you would select what kind of purchasing power do you want. So let's just say 50,000. You would purchase an account for 119, and that is all you have at risk. And then with the way a prop firm works, just a quick crash course, you need to go from the test, show them that you can trade, and then from the test, you would move into the pro. And then once you're in the pro account or the pro plus account, when you begin to make money, you get to keep that money. But the nice thing here is that because you're new, you're going to do stupid things. In fact, you're already admitting to doing one stupid thing. And I don't know how much it costs you, but if you do stuff, it doesn't take much to lose a whole lot in futures, because the other part of why you would want to trade futures, and Wayne, I bet you already noticed this, is their movement. They can move, and yeah, they can move in a hurry. So with that being said, you want to be very careful, especially given your context as someone that's new to futures trading. So if you get caught in a crazy move, crazy spike, maybe you suffer a little bit of FOMO, maybe you revenge trade, something like that. You know, we all have our stupid days. And let's just say you lose $2,000. Well, where you're at, Wayne, right now, that could be $2,000 of your own money. Could be $2,000 of your own money. But in this situation, if you were to lose $2,000, well, you violated the rules of the prop firm, because they don't want you losing $2,000. But that doesn't mean you lost $2,000 of your money. It just means you would lose your account, which means, well, you lost $119 because that was the cost of the account. Now, you can always come back, try again, get another account for $100, just the way this prop firm is set up. But the point here being is, when you are new where you're at right now, you should definitely not be using your own money in futures, because you're setting yourself up to take a way bigger loss than what you actually need to. I would rather have a whoops, that was dumb, but I learned a lot. I would rather have that cost you $119 as opposed to $2,000, Wayne. So does that make sense, Wayne? Does that make sense on how you're being a little reckless right now? What do you trade futures, though? What do you trade futures? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Eric. What do you trade futures, though? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Does that make sense, Wayne? Please confirm. I'm very worried for you right now. New to futures and using your own money to day trade futures. That is scary. I will keep learning. No, that's good. I'm glad. Okay, now Wayne is okay. So Wayne, this is what I want you. You definitely need to go with. Does that make sense? Why prop firms are better? Because your risk is much more minimized. Do you see that, Wayne? Did I get a job? Did I do a good job getting that across to you? Eric, what platform do you use? So what I do, just build ultimate context here, is I am doing Pam's plan. I am day trading futures through a prop firm. So first thing you would do, and again, to get to my platform, is you would go to the link that you see on the screen. That you don't see on the screen right now. There we go. That's on the screen right there, or it's also pinned at the top message in the chat box. It would take you to this site, and you would pick out your purchasing power that you want. So there's several purchasing power, and then during the checkout phase, it'll ask you, well, what platform do you want to use? And the one that I use is Tradeovate. So if you've seen any of my live trading sessions or live videos on the YouTube channel, that is Tradeovate. Now, the nice thing here is Take Profit Trader will create the account for you. So you don't have to go to Tradeovate site separately and create an account or anything like that. So you get to skip that, kind of hassle part of it. And Take Profit Trader will do everything for you, and then they'll send you the login information. So I am kind of a two-part question. What platform? I'm using the platform I'm using the prop firm platform, quote unquote, Take Profit Trader, and then through them, I'm using Tradeovate. All right, Wayne, good. So I want you to go get signed up for Take Profit Trader. Protect your own money. But I'm glad that you are into futures. But I also had another question, Wayne. What did you day trade before futures? What were you day trading before futures? I use stochastics on MES. Again, if I do miss your message, I apologize. I'm not trying to skip anybody's messages, but now I'm getting more of them. So again, that's where the $5 super chat. If you want to make sure that I see your message and you want me to get to it right away, then do that. Again, you don't have to do super chats. All I'm explaining is the risk that I may just not see it. But rest assured, I'm not trying to ignore anybody. but it does reach a point where it starts to kind of get. I use stochastics on MES. How come my price action doesn't match stochastic? Prescott, that would be a question for your broker or for your platform, whoever you're using. I have no answers there. I'm not tech support. All right, let's go back up and big earnings next week. Keep that. I'm guessing that's for Meta. I am curious. This person said scale is a. Yeah, I don't think I've scale. Q, what are you doing with scale? What is this, some sort of like? What are you doing? What are you doing putting your money in something like that? Come on, Q. Has anybody ever scale? What? I've never heard of scale. Has anybody else ever heard of scale, or is Q like a bot? Hello, frog face trader. Yeah, I'm Q. I can't even pull up scale. I think that's how like of a unknown it is. So I don't know what you're doing. I'm not even sure if you're real at this point. Well, why? Yeah. I would say run the other way. Stop trying to get rich quick by gambling on some random altcoin that's just, yeah. Miguel, settlement for this week. I sort of kind of just gave that already at the very beginning. Kurt, are you going to join the community? Right? You are the Kurt that I was emailing with yesterday. Are you the guy that was like, so you're only in your community like once a week, twice a week? And I was like, huh? Is that you, Kurt? You need to get signed up. Is it better to trade MES as a beginner instead of NASDAQ since it can be so zippy fast? Maybe, but I don't think so. That's why the M. Just MNQ. That's still plenty good. Even if it's just one contract, you'll be just fine. But if you still look at it and say, no, that's still way too crazy. Yeah, I don't necessarily I don't think it's silly to do MES. What do you think of OMEX? Has room for continuation. Let's check out the daily. Well, the daily did do a good job getting up above the 200-day. Quite the move. 30-minute, I talked about this in the top 10 video I did. Because at the end of every day, I do a top 10 stock. So I did this one already, so I'm going to go through this one quicker. But as I talked about in that video, it basically has a bull pennant, which it had on Thursday too. So a good example there of a bull pennant getting nice upside break. And now we have, like I just drew up, another bull pennant. Now, does that mean for sure guaranteed another bull pennant is going to form as it breaks new highs? No, there's no guarantees. But yeah, right now, OMEX is putting higher highs, higher lows. But definitely I would say that 165 mark going to be a key area of resistance to watch going into next week. Yes, I will join in about 2 weeks. I'm in wait mode. Gotcha, Kurt. Gotcha. How are you? I've been following you on Facebook too, waiting for SPY options. It broke up, but I'm so scared of this weekend for options call. Why? Let me ask you this: Why you swing trading? It doesn't sound like you. I don't want to speak for your frog face, but I'm getting the impression that swing trading options is maybe not your ideal choice of how you'd like to approach the markets. Is that true, or am I misreading the situations? In other words, if I said, hey, what would you actually like to be doing? In your perfect world, would you actually like to be a day trader where you can day trade as much as you want? But are you saying, yeah, I would like that, but I don't have $25,000, so I fall under the pattern day trading rule. Therefore, I'm not allowed to trade as much as I want. And I also don't have a whole lot of money. That's why I have to do options and have to swing trade options. Is that kind of where you're at? Is that you do day trade and swing? Okay. Please don't tell me you day trade options. Lost a big chunk. Yeah, do you see now, Wayne, about how the prop firm? Oh, goodness. Frog faces, day trading options. That's, I I used to do that, and as a former options trader, and there are a lot of former options traders here that now day trade futures, what you're doing makes no mathematical sense. You are day trading in a very inefficient way. Why are you choosing to deal with theta? Why would you choose to deal with theta? Why? Why put yourself through that torture chamber of theta? I also liked how using Webull to make money to pay for your... I'm not quite sure I remember that video exactly, Kurt, but... Again, theta is still there. Why? Why do you do that? Do you have $25,000, Frogface? And again, I hope you know that I asked that because I'm trying to figure out, are you under the pattern day trading rule? Want to play? I remember watching your videos years ago, watching you trade shares. I stumbled across your videos for the first time in a long time a few days ago. Hey, well, welcome back, Confused. I also started trading futures 3 years ago. Glad you made the switch. What did you trade before you moved to futures? Confused. Frogface, I don't know what yes is. I asked you too many questions. It's my fault. Yes, what? Yes, you're under the pattern day trading rule. You were good at options trading. Yeah, I mean, thank you, but options trading is garbage. Day trading options is pure and utter garbage compared to day trading futures. It literally makes no sense. That's not like, that's my opinion. No, that's the mathematical fact. It's not efficient. It is an inefficient way to day trade. Why? Because of theta. So if you're not familiar, what happens in options, if you're day trading options, you get in a position and then this starts to happen, you are losing money. Now, you would be very, very astute. You would be very logical to say, what are you talking about, Clay? Nobody's losing money. The price is just going sideways. Ah, exactly. That's the problem with theta. Theta, without going too far down the rabbit hole, eats away at your value as time goes by. So timing matters a whole lot more. You sitting through consolidations like this is not good. You are losing money even though the price is just going sideways. Options. Now, see Frogface, you do still have a problem though, because you have to wait for the cash to settle, don't you? You have to wait after you use it. You got to wait for it to settle one day, don't you? Well, Frogface, right? You got to deal with those settlement rules. So you actually do still have a problem, don't you? You're now exposing, hopefully I can show you the error of your ways. Exactly. You have to deal with the sentiment rule. Would you like to be able to day trade as much as you want every single day and not have to deal with theta? Let me ask you that. Would you like to be able to day trade as much as you want every single day? Not worry about the pattern day trading rule, not worry about settlement rules, and best yet, not have to worry about theta. Does that sound like a good situation? Because Confused, right up above you, is saying the same thing. They trade options, and now they've switched to futures. And I don't want to speak for you, Confused, but would you say that day trading options compared to day trading futures is like a night and day difference, and futures are way better? Again, I don't want to speak for you, but would you say that's the case? So much. Okay, he said it's so much better. So right there, Frogface, here is yet another person. And I've been live streaming now in about 2.5 months. And I don't know, Confused has got to be like the 15th person now that has said, yeah, I used to day trade options, but I switched to day trading futures. And we're 15 for 15. Yeah, futures is way better. Well, again, future. So right here. Right here is number one reason for you. You just said you would like to be able to day trade as much as you want every single day. Well, you know what? In the futures market, check it out. PDT rule, yeah, there is none. No pattern day trading rule. And then on top of that, for you options traders who I know despise theta, as you should, there's zero theta. There's no theta. So yes, you're trading contracts because you trade futures contracts, but they're not like options contracts where you have theta. So that in of itself is why Pam's plant would be for you, which is day trading options through a prop firm. So yeah, that's... You stumbled on the right live stream today. You are going to be very, very happy. And like I said, just read the messages in the very chat from Confused. Former options trader saying it is way better. Don't mislead people about options. Oh boy. Whole point of day trading is you're in and out the same day. It's not swing trading. Therefore, theta is non-factor and Canadian traders don't have PDT rule. Well, that just shows your ignorance towards options then if you don't think that theta is within the world of day trading options. Just because you're in and out in the same day, and if you don't think theta is at work, then yeah, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Confused was a little bit more blunt with you, but as Confused says, yeah, you're clueless. So the irony here is, if anybody is misleading people, it would be you if you're making the claim that theta does not affect options just because you buy and sell in the same day. Like that's wild. That's wild. In fact, I think options or through a or a swing trade lens can make a lot of sense. If you're swing trading options, I get that. There's cool stuff you can do because you can actually leverage theta in your favor. So you're like literally talking the opposite thing. You're saying, hey, theta is only a problem in swing trading. No. Swing trading options is where you can do cool things with theta, right? You can sell options. You can let theta work for you. There's a bunch of cool stuff you can do swing trading options. That's why Pam's plant is strictly in the category of day trading. Because if we're in the category of swing trading, yeah, sure, I have nothing against options. So you're literally talking the exact opposite. You're saying, hey, theta doesn't make a difference in swing trading. Theta is only bad in swing trading. That's literally the opposite. So yeah, I mean, Confused. Confused told you a little bit, but he was a little bit more upfront with you. But yeah, you are clueless. Like you literally just said the exact opposite of how it works. KZ, another person, wish I joined futures years ago. Yeah. Sorry again. I'm not ignoring anybody's. Options, but I would still, yeah, confused. If I purchase the buying power, does that mean profits I make from that actually point is real money? I can actually keep. I have had practice on my brokers. Well, no. So the way it works is this, KD, a universe. Again, crash course. You first pick out, okay, what sort of purchasing power do you want? And then you got to pass a test. Well, what is this test? Well, let's just, on the 50K account, you've got to be able to show that you can make 3,000, but you're not allowed to lose 2,000. So they're going to force you to focus on risk management. They're going to force you to focus on risk control, and being forced to focus on those things is a good thing because those things are good habits to have. So that's what you have to do. Now, you may be thinking, well, how can they only charge you 119, but they're going to let you lose 2,000? This is all occurring in a simulator. The test phase is a simulator, so because that's a good eye, it can totally come across as a scam. If you're like, no, this is a scam. There's no way that the company can only get 119 and then let you lose 2,000. What is off? Good eye, again, this is all happening in a simulator. So that's the test. So you got to be able to show that you can make some money, control some risk, and then after that, in the test phase that we just talked about, you move into the pro phase. One special note there is that those prices that you just saw, say per month, the per month is only during the test phase. So that's why I say get the test passed within a month, which is plenty of time because futures move quickly. So you can pass the test in a month very, very realistically. But once you go from the test to the pro, there's no more monthly fee. And then the pro is where when you start to make money, you get to keep that money. But yes, there is that first test phase. But all in, like I said, your entire risk could be 119. In fact, we had somebody yesterday, I don't think Nathan's here, but we had somebody where they paid 130 for their prop firm account. So they paid 130, they passed the test, they went into the pro account, and then in the pro account, they made $9,700 before they broke the rules. So when they broke the rules, then their pro account was taken away from them. But the key thing here is that before they had their pro account taken away, and I say taken away, you can always get it back again for $100. But they had their pro account taken away because they violated rules. But the thing is, well, they were paid $9,700 before the account got taken away. So they had $130 at risk the entire time. Because, again, your only true risk, money out of your pocket, is what it cost. Their risk was $130, but they made $9,700 before it was taken away. That right there is the power of prop firms. So yes, Katie, University, you do have to pass the test first, get into the pro accounts, and then you can start making money. Dustin is drinking whiskey instead of coffee. All right, he's going hard this morning. Yeah, I've noticed that about options. As long as the trade is moving your way, that's fine. But then that's every trader, right? Exactly, JJ Max. Exactly. Futures, it is for the win. Yeah, no. And that's actually an interesting point, JJ. So to JJ's point, but this also shows how day trading futures is just ridiculous. So in most situations, right, you have basically a 33% chance to make money. What do I mean by that? Well, if you buy, so let's just say you buy. If it goes up, you make money. If it does nothing, okay, we'll just call that N for neutral. Or if it goes down, okay, well, X, you lose money, right? So when you buy anything, you have a 33% chance to make money. You're either going to make money, you're going to break even, or you're going to lose money. With options, this is all inverted. With options, you buy, and to JJ's point, if you buy and it goes up right away, hey, okay, you're going to make money. If it goes sideways, you lose money. And if it goes against you, you lose money. So you literally have, with options day trading, a 66.777, I think that's how it is, chance of losing money. I'll say that again. With options, day trading options, you have a 67% chance of losing money. Because if it goes sideways on you, because of that thing that's called theta, you are going to lose money on the trade. And that is why I've said and will continue to say, if someone were to say, Clay, let's say you had the power to sentence like somebody that you really didn't like, and that you were like, you know what, you really don't like that person, so you sentence them to some sort of financial punishment. My financial punishment would be, okay, I want them to go day trade options for this reason right here. Everything else you trade, you have at least a 33% chance to lose money, but you have a 33% chance of just breaking even. But no, not here. Not here. Sideways, down, in the world of options. So that is what I mean when I say day trading options literally makes no sense. You are doing things inefficiently. Keep in mind the claim is not, you can't make money day trading options. Yeah, I mean, you can make money. I'm just saying you are working smarter, not harder, because of theta. Theta is causing you to have to work way harder than you actually need to, because with futures, and not to mention futures just move better than options anyways, but setting that aside, even if you just assume that they both move the same, which they don't, futures move better, but if we just assume they move the same, futures is still way more efficient because futures don't have theta. So that is why I say, I mean, it genuinely, mathematically makes 0 sense to be day trading options. Well, Clay, I don't have a whole lot of money. That's fine. That's fair. That is where Pam's plant once again comes into play. The L, low capital required. I know a lot of people trade options because they don't have a lot of money. So my question is, do you have, we'll go to the bare minimum. If you have $105, then you could get yourself into the 25K purchasing power account, and you could start your prop firm journey with just $105. So again, well, I have to do day trading options because I just don't have a lot of money. And again, Pam's plant. Do you have $105? If so, then you don't have to deal with theta anymore. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's amazing. It does sound a little bit scammy, and this is also why I push back against prop firms for so long. My community, I do have a private community, and for the longest time, they've like, Clay, get into futures, Clay, get into futures. And then in the past couple of years, it's been, Clay, now there's these thing called prop firms. Definitely get into futures and do it with a prop firm. It's better. I'm like, I don't know. Prop firms sound kind of sketchy. They sound kind of scammy, and there are scammy ones out there. Don't get me wrong. Which is why I only recommend 2 of them, because the 2 that I'm willing to put my name next to have a track record of paying people, and they've, and I know that members of my community have been paid, and they've been around for a while. But point being is, I was very leery of them, because it's like, whoa, that's amazing, but what's the catch? That sounds too good to be true. Let me sit back and watch. But many members were like, Clay, well, maybe it is a scam, but it's $100. So worst case, if we assume it's a scam, I'm out $100. I'm going to give it a try. And those people, over the years, they were basically the little guinea pigs and lab rats. they've convinced me, and it is real. It is real. Now, none of this. I'm not saying any of this is like magic pill, get rich quick, or anything like that. That's not the claim. I mean, you still got to know what you're doing. But my point here is, it's much more graceful because we talked yesterday. Somebody was like, "Well, I got $5,000," and then we had a couple people saying, "Well, that's ridiculous." But let's just say you have $5,000, and then you go and you're going to use kind of what Wayne was doing. What's good platform for futures? Well, step one would be what you have here. Take Profit Trader. So use the link. Use code Clay if you want to support the channel. But to get the discount, use code Clay. So you Take Profit Trader is the platform that the prop firm that you would want to use. And then during the checkout phase, most people use Tradeovate. So as you get signed up for Take Profit Trader, they'll ask you what platform do you want to use. And Tradeovate is the one that I use. So that's what I would use for it, Frog Face. What country are you in, by the way? That second part of your name is like I don't know, Russian or something. What country are you in? Let me just make sure that I didn't just build up your hopes. Well, what country do you live in? So anyways, going back to just kind of, oh, okay, all right, then you're fine. Yep, this whole thing would work. They're open to U.S. residents. I don't think they're open to Russia. If you're in Russia, then yeah, sorry, this prop firm would not be available to you. I just, like I said, I saw that other, I don't even know that those words, and it made me think Russian. But the other nice thing here, and what's so amazing is, and why I was giving Wayne such a hard time and so scared for him was, if you have $5,000. Think about your two choices. If you do decide, you know what? No, that prop firm stuff, I want to keep all, like that. No, I don't want to go through a test. I just want to trade. Okay. Well, if you go in futures and you just, and let's just even do this. Let's not even assume that you lose your mind. You go on tilt, you revenge trade, you FOMO, you start forcing trades, nothing like that. I mean, let's not even assume that you have one of those bad days where you make a mess of it. I think any honest trader is going to be like, yeah, I've been there before. I've kind of lost control. I've broken a bunch of my rules. I think we've been there. I know I have. So we won't even assume that. Let's just assume that you get stuck in a crazy move. And that happens whatever market you're in. You could be in and whoa, where did that come from? And you're in a crazy move. If you're doing that with your own money, that could very realistically be, a loss of a couple $1,000s, if not even more. So one loss of, let's just call it, $2,000. Well, now all of a sudden you're down here at $3,000. Again, this is RM, real money. Or OM, own money. I'm using my own money. We have somebody else that's got 5,000 and they're like, well, I'm going to do Pam's plant. So we'll go PP, Pam's plant. And they're in that same exact move that cost them, a chunk of money. And let's just say it was $1,500. Well, in the prop firm world, if you lose the $1,500, it's not out of your pocket. Now, it would cause you to fail the test. They would take the test, or they would take the account away from you, which you can always, again, get back for $100. But what was your actual risk? Well, 105. So in this situation, instead of being down to 3,000, where's this person at? This person is at 4,000. What is that? 895. Why? Well, because they only paid 105. So yeah, they got stuck in that same crazy move, but because this person was using their own money, well, they took the full loss of $2,000 out of their pocket. In this situation, yeah, they lost the account, but they only lost the cost of the account, which would have 105. So now they go and let's say another crazy thing happens to this person. And I don't know, and all of a sudden they're down to, 2,000 because I don't know, bad, something happens. And again, right here, because once you get this one, with Take Profit Trader, when you get the account back, it's only $100. So this person, they got another account back, but let's just say that once again, something crazy happened. So, all right, well, they're out $100. So, well, minus $100. So now, so minus 100, and now they're at 47.95. And then this person goes, something crazy happened, boom, they're gone. Account gone. Same thing here, something crazy happens. So boom, account gone. Well, they're going to get the account back for another minus 100. And this person is still at 46.95 of their own money. So the point here is that just from learning and like giving yourself longer, more opportunities, if you use your own money, you can burn through your own money very, very quickly. With this, yeah, you can still burn through your money. I'm not saying that you can't burn through all $5,000. I am just saying, Pam's plan is just saying that $5,000 will give you way more opportunities to try to figure things out, to try to fine tune your strategy and all that. Does that make sense to people? Does that make sense? Yeah, Frog, you are a reckless. You are being so inefficient in your trading. Like I don't even know how to explain that to you. Like you are doing things so backwards and things that like mathematically don't make any sense. Unless you're like swing trading crypto or something like that. But if you're day trading crypto, like what are you doing? Why are you putting all your money at risk? Especially when I just mapped that out right there. Like I just showed you why it makes no sense to be putting all your money at risk. And then you're like, I'm going to go put all my money at risk on Bitcoin. All right, Frog. So, we tried. We tried to help. I was hoping that one person would interact a little bit more that said we were misleading options, but... I mean, for all it takes is for crypto to do one of its little spikes, and you get roasted. And you absorb all that loss. And I mean, I'm sure you know this, but crypto, Bitcoin, they're kind of known for being a little spiky. They're kind of known for all of a sudden, ba-boom. And if one of those ba-booms goes against you, well, yeah, you just realize that entire loss is on your shoulders. In the prop firm world, it's not. Do you recommend paper trading? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to. I recommend building a strategy. Yeah, you definitely have to have a strategy. I have no ego. Well, I have mathematically just proven to you how if you want to be a day trader and you want to have minimal risk, maximal opportunity to learn, and be able to day trade as much as you want every single day on something that moves way better than crypto. Futures make Bitcoin movement look like a joke. So I mean, I get it. Well, crypto doesn't have a pattern day trading rule, all that. Yeah, but I mean, just the movement alone, like futures make Bitcoin movement look like nothing. All right, let's see. So again, if there are any other questions, it's been a good conversation. Hopefully I helped a couple people out to get them to stop being so inefficient with their ways. But if there are any other requests, so it could be for a stock, could be for a crypto, could be for a Forex pairing, could be for a futures market, let me know and we'll take a look at it. Again, if there's any questions though, anything more about prop firm strategy, how prop firms work, or whatever, you can ask those too. Let me scroll up, see if I maybe missed something. Looking like I got everything. Majority of my investment. Well, yeah, no, investing is a whole nother category. Pam's plan is for the category of day trading. Because I have had some people say, oh, so you don't invest in stocks, Clay? It's like, wait a second. No. Pam's plan is arguing for day trading. When it comes to the investing category, yeah, I own stocks. Yep. I love stocks for investing. Day trading, though, stocks are garbage. How did the... We'll take a look at the NQ here. Since nobody's given a request or anything, which is fine, we'll take a look. What's the prop firm's name? Just go to the link. It's Take Profit Trader, but if you go to the link that you see on the top of your screen, or if you just go to the pinned comment in the chat box and follow that link, it'll take you right to the prop firm. And if you do want to support the channel and get the promotion, just use code CLAY. If you are enjoying, make sure to hit that like button. I learned last Saturday that I never really asked for likes, and we did really terrible. But I've learned this past week that you just got to ask, because some people forget to hit that like button. So if you are enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. I'd like to get this up to at least 50 for a Saturday stream. We're getting pretty close. But yeah, all right. Looking at again, if you have a request you'd like me to take a look at, could be a stock, could be anything that I can pull up a chart on. I'll take a look at it. So just let me know. This is all viewer driven today. The conversations, the topics are just, wherever we go. That's why I kind of like the Saturday ones. We can kind of go with whatever, because I was going to say nothing's really open, but then again, Bitcoin is open. SPEV. All right. See, Jason was smart, because when we're out of it, he's like, okay, I don't even have to do a $5 super chat. I can do one right now, and I can get it answered right now. SPEV. Do you have any videos you recommend for learning Okay, Wayne, let me ask you this. Do you use charts right now to trade what you do? So when you are day trading your options and stuff, are you using technical charts? SPEV. All right. Ooh. Well, this is a little worrisome right off the bat. But, I mean, it's still going up even. That's weird. Usually this amount of drop-off is the price either just flat out going sideways or starting to drop. But this thing, with the lower volume, even pushed higher. That's pretty unique. So main area of support, Elias, Google. Yep, all right, I'll do Google next. Wayne, again, when you're trading, whether it's swing trading or day trading, are you using charts? Okay, no, I'm not. I'm asking what platform you use. Do you stare at like things that look like this? Are you using technical charts when you're trading? I see you, Kevin. I'll get to that. Again, I'm not asking what platform you use. I'm just asking. No. Then what are you doing, Wayne? Are you just making stuff? So how do you make your decisions then? You're not using charts. But yet you're day trading some of these things. So how exactly are you doing? Are you just randomly? Are you just like gambling then? If you're not using charts, what is the tool you're using to make your decisions? All right. So Frog Face, for example. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mixing people up. Oh no, I'm asking both, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Okay, so Frog Face for you. You already use charts. Perfect. Now instead of using charts for options, you're just going to use charts for futures. That's it. Because, so I'm going to ask you this. What's one of your favorite patterns, Frog Face? Wayne Rob. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what I gotta do better at not asking somebody several questions, because then they tell me yes or no, and I don't remember what I asked them. Oh, yes, you use charts. Oh, okay. All right. So, perfect, Wayne. Good. So now instead of using charts to trade whatever you were, you're now just going to use charts to trade futures. So the strategies that you were using with charts to trade whatever, just use those strategies to now trade futures. Does that make sense? Because, for example, if you're like, oh, one of my favorite patterns is the bull flag. I love a bull flag. So if that's like one of your bread and butter patterns that you like to do, just for example, day trading options, okay, well, bull flags exist in futures and they work in futures. You're like, no, I like an ascending triangle. I like the ascending triangle pattern. Okay, cool. Instead of using the ascending triangle pattern to trade stocks or to trade crypto or to trade, future or to trade options, now you just use an ascending triangle to trade futures. Hey, Jay. Hey, T. Clay Hater. That's an interesting name. I fully expected like some sort of like, you're a scumbag, but it looks like it was just oh no, now he's over it. He's promoting some other firm. No. I've never heard of them. So that message is gone. I don't know. Maybe it's a bot. I don't know. But when you show up with the name of Clay Hater and then you're promoting some other who knows what prop firm, hopefully you can understand why I'm a little skeptical, why I'm a little on the defense there. I like double or triple bottoms. Well, I'm happy to report those exist in the world of futures. Yeah. I am full bore behind Take Profit Trader because they're very simple in their rules. If you are brand new to prop firms, Take Profit Trader, very clean. Not a whole bunch of rules, and their payment, as you just said, has way better rules and payout. Exactly. So that is why I I'm not trying to overwhelm people. Because if you send them out, well, go find a prop firm. There's a bunch of them out there. And then there's a bunch of rules. Wait, what's it? It's just you overwhelm people, and then they don't actually get to experience how beneficial it can be. So that is why, I'm not. There's only two that I'm going to recommend and talk about here because I want to keep it simple. I don't want to overwhelm people because the prop firm space can get very overwhelming. But Take Profit Trader, to your point, they have way better rules because there's not a bunch of rules. It's very clean, and then their payment policy makes a whole lot of sense. What do I mean by that? Well, other prop firms, now this does not make them a scam, but let's just say you make $5,000. At other prop firms, they're like, okay, you made $5,000, but you can't request any money until 2 weeks from now. And when it's time to request that money 2 weeks from now, we're only going to let you request $2,000. Yeah, I know you made $5,000, but right now you can only request $2,000 of that. Again, that does not make them a scam. They pay, and they'll eventually pay, and all that. But with Take Profit Trader, they're like, yeah, well, in the pro accounts, after you pass the test, move into the pro account. Yeah, if you make $5,000, you can request the money whenever you want, and you can request all $5,000 if you want. So that is why, you know what, Take Profit Trader, it's just clean, straightforward, not going to overwhelm people, and they have the best payment policy in the land. Okay, T, please, just don't trade futures in your Robinhood account because that means that you're trading with your own money. Wayne, I use charts. I'm a beginner and okay, well. Okay, Wayne, you're not listening to what I'm saying, Wayne. Futures is just charts. You think that, okay, I'm now trading futures, therefore I need a whole bunch of new strategies. No, if you use charts, a chart is a chart. So like if you like this pattern, if you like a bull pennant pattern, well, a bull pennant exists on Bitcoin, a bull pennant exists on stocks, a bull pennant exists on options, a bull pennant exists on, it'll exist on futures. So I'm trying to push back. You seem to have a premise that, if I'm trading a new thing, I need new strategies. No, that's what I'm rejecting you on. If you trade charts, instead of using charts to trade stocks, use charts to trade futures. That's all I'm saying. I like Head and Shoulders patterns. Yeah, okay. Well, Head and Shoulders patterns, they exist. They exist in the world of futures too. I did not know Robinhood can do futures. Don't do. Okay, I don't know. Is Frogface and Wayne, are they the same person? They seem to be starting to toy around with me here. Yes, you can use futures through Robinhood, but the problem is that's your money at risk. So when futures go boom, boom, like they can do, and you're like, whoa, that moved fast. I didn't see that coming. Man, I just got kicked in the teeth. Yeah, that's all of your money gone. So don't trade futures with Robinhood because that would be your money at risk. Mary, I'm very new to all this. Mary, relax, Mary. I'm very new to the prop firms. I'm taking my time. I'm doing a different model. But I'm not going to go into my model because I'm in a more unique situation. So just relax, Mary. That's all I'll tell you. Just relax. Calm down. Just joining the stream now. Micro pullback. What is... I'm Ty. I don't know that person. Okay. Okay, good. All right. All I'm saying is Wayne and Frogface. So, I'm not quite sure how much you'll explain. You keep bringing up things that are like, yeah, but that's irrelevant. Like, it's irrelevant now that you can trade futures in Robinhood because if you understood... I think I'm upset at myself. Apparently I'm not explaining this to you guys properly. So I think my maybe frustration that's coming out is at myself. Because I was hoping you would connect the dots like, I can trade futures in Robinhood, sure, but that doesn't make any sense because as Clay just explained to me, I need to be doing it through a prop firm so that my risk is way more minimized. Like I said, and I was hoping you'd be able to make that connection, but the fact that you don't seem to be is why I'm just frustrated at myself. I must not be explaining this properly. So yeah, I don't mean to be frustrated at you. I'm frustrated at myself in all actuality. Elias from Spain. Well, let's take a look here. I think you're going to be good, but I don't want to commit. So let's So we don't want to see Spain on this list. If you see your country on this list, that is not a good thing. So where are the S's? You're good. You're good. So to answer your question, yes, you would be eligible. They are open. The prop firm is open to Spain. Again, you do not, I repeat, you do not want to see your country on this list. If you see your country on this list, unfortunately, Pam's plant through Take Profit Trader would not be available to you. But if you're in Spain, you're good to go. So I feel, sorry if that sounded like I'm judging you. I have 50K TP. I must have missed a message from you, James, which was not intentional. Again, if I miss anybody's messages, I'm not ignoring anybody, but they're starting to come in more. Yeah, James, I don't even see a message from you earlier. That must have been way earlier. Sorry, that sounded like I'm judging you. I have 50. Okay, now he deleted it. Now I'm so confused, James. Is it okay to paper trade futures to get a grip on how they move before? I mean, you can, T, but I mean, paper trading only has so much use. So yeah, I mean, you can, yeah, but I'm not quite sure. Sometimes you just got to throw your hat in the ring. But yes, to answer your question, you can. Sorry, wrong chat. Gotcha. All right. No problem, James. No, I realize but do you understand, Frogface, that the goal here and the power of a prop firm is the fact that you don't have maximum amount of your capital at risk? Like, it's not all your money at risk. Do you understand that principle? That's what I'm trying to get across here. As a reminder, if you're enjoying, if you feel like you're learning something, maybe you just had your eyes open. I like these. People show up and you can be like, hey, have you ever considered this? There's nothing better than somebody like, well, I kind of swing trade because I have to, because I don't have $25,000. So I can't really day trade as much as I want. So I mainly have to swing trade. There's nothing better than somebody saying that and be like, oh, really? Well, hey, today's your lucky day. I got a way for you to be able to day trade as much as you want every single day. What's up with your name? Can you tell me what's up with your name? Like, I'm still super skeptical of you. When it shows Clay Hater. Now, maybe you just hate the stuff that you, like, make sculptures out of. Maybe that's what you hate. But, dude, what's up with your name? Okay, well, that's the point. You think Take Profit Trader is way better. Then let's just focus on the way better thing right now. Especially the context of this stream is a lot of people are brand new to the concept. So that's what I mean. I'm glad you think that Take Profit is way better. So in the spirit of making sure we don't overwhelm people, in the spirit of let's just put people in a good spot, I think we can both agree that putting them with a broker that is way better is a good spot. So I'm glad we're on that same page. They will force you into Pro Plus, which is good because that shows that they are running a sustainable business model. Okay, I'm glad you understand that, Frogface. I'm glad you understand that. Hey, Elusive. Yeah, no, prop firms there. It's good stuff. It makes a lot of sense. But back to SBEV. So, again, keep asking questions. I'll keep fielding them, but I'll also try to multitask and analyze. That's not a real word. I'll try to do some analysis too. How do you keep you can't? They force you. They will make you go because if you start just beast moding it, they're like, yeah, we need to get you in a Pro Plus. Which again is what I want to see because that tells me that their business model is sustainable. Like because of like the best trader in the history of trading showed up, like they could bankrupt a prop firm. That's why they want you to get into a live account because now when you're making that money, it's coming from the market. So no, there's no way that you can be like, no, I don't want to go to Pro Plus. No, they'll make you, which is good because again, it shows that they're actually legitimate. That's the whole thing. That's why I was so anti-prop firms because a lot of them seem so sketchy. But that little thing right there, it doesn't mean a whole lot to people if you don't really understand prop firms. But like that little thing shows they're running a sustainable business model. Okay. Clay Hater, can you answer that question? What is up with your name? Why did you choose that name? And I disagree. I don't care it's $20 because they're going to be turned off by prop firms and think that it's a total scam and joke because they're like, what's up with all these rules? Wait, what? Huh? What's going on? I want to have people have a smooth experience. Listen. This doesn't make me right, but I've had this drilled in my head. Former process engineer. We want processes to be smooth, efficient. Sometimes it maybe costs a little bit more, but the fact that it's smoother and efficient is worth it. So just keep that in mind. Oh, Media Network is still here. Media Network. We thought you disappeared. Can you give me your analysis on my indicator on TradingView? Just look up confirm market structure. No. I guess maybe. I'm not going to do that right now, though. There's other things that I'd... Is there a statistics for having an idea how many people get their prop? Yeah. It's hard. It's not a gimme. But the whole point is it gives you more opportunity to accomplish success than using your own money. So that's really that's an irrelevant concern. Well, how many people actually get paid? Well, how many people actually make money with their own money? Barely anybody. But with prop firms, at least you give yourself more of a chance because that same money will take you further because you're not going to burn through it as quick. All right, I am ignoring Clay Hater from now on because he won't tell me, like, why did you name yourself that? He keeps ignoring that. So that has me skeptical. No, I know. Oh my God. Please. It's amazing how, I don't know why I'm shocked by this. Confirmation bias is like a real thing. If you have a bias, then you're going to like hear things that don't exist. Media. Nobody said for you to leave. I said we thought you left. Okay? So there's a big difference between, oh, so you want him to leave? No, I didn't say. I just said we thought you left. Don't, come on. Let's everybody put the victim card away. Let's put that away. You're not the victim. Nobody told you to leave. We just said we thought you left. Well, good. I'm glad you're still here. Ken, I'm not getting into my strategy. My strategy is irrelevant, okay? I am in a more unique spot than most people. So I am just taking my time. I'm passing accounts and just don't worry about it, Ken. Just don't worry about it. I am in a unique spot. So that's why, like I said, just it is what it is. It's just okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's all I was wondering. It's just you did it because it's just a joke. Fair enough. Now I know. Gotcha. Clay, you're the GOAT. No. Thank you. I'm glad you think that, but there are way better traders than I am out there, especially in my own community, especially people that have gone through my program. Like a lot of students are now way better. Granted, the program's run on since 10 years, so but yeah, that tends to happen. You get enough students, you get enough people success, and yeah, there's going to be multiple students that turn out to be better than the teacher, which is fine by me. With a prop firm, will I be able to continue charting using Webull? You can, yeah. You can still use Webull if you want. You would just have to execute through, one of the brokers that they offer, or excuse me, one of the platforms. So I would say use Tradeovate. But yeah, if you want, you could still use Webull charts to monitor everything. As in providing beneficial information, not trading statistics. Well, I appreciate that, but to be fair, trading statistics can still be valuable information. Oh, Jamie is a mentorship. Yeah, good. I didn't realize you. And sorry, Jamie, maybe I should have known that, but hopefully, I think you're cutting me some slack. I can't quite say that I can connect every name in here with who may be a member. But there you go, Jamie. Let's see. Good questions, good questions, good interactions. Elias, okay, Elias. I'm gonna try this one more time. Trading is hard. Trading is not hard because the prop firms make it hard. Trading is just hard in general. So you're so like, well, how many people actually get paid? It's like, okay, it's not about that because most people don't make money using their own money. The argument for prop firms is this: if you have 5,000 and somebody else has 5,000, and they're like, well, I don't like prop firms. I don't want to follow their rules. I don't want to do this and this. I'm going to use my own money. OM. Well, you could go out there in futures because futures move and they move very quickly. And I'm not kidding you. And anybody here that trades futures will back me up and say futures, they can move. So it is more than realistic to say within 3 to 5 trades, this could be down to $0. Okay. Clay, I'm what? How could 5,000 be gone in 3 to 5? Because futures are awesome. They move. That's why you need risk management, but they move. So you get about maybe 3 to 5 trades of experience. Again, if you're going to use Pam's plant, so with the prop firm, this could also end up at 0, right? Because Pam's plan is not a guarantee of success. It's a guarantee to give you more opportunity. So with that, though, you could easily have 100 trades. I think you'd probably get even more than that if you actually did the math. But you could have 100 trades before you get to 0. So I would submit to you that one of these scenarios here gives you more opportunity to figure out a strategy, gives you more opportunity to figure out your emotions, gives you more opportunity to fine-tune a system that you're putting together. Do you see which one maybe gives you more opportunity? Again, more opportunity, not a guarantee of success. More opportunity. You seem to be getting too stuck on, well, what's the percentages of people that have? They're not good in either category because trading is hard. Like that's just a fact. Not because prop firms make it hard. Trading is just hard. But this is what the core dynamic is. In this scenario, which one of these pathways, which to be fair, they both lead to 0. The person ultimately fails, they go to 0. But which one of them gave that person more opportunity to find success? That's all is being argued. One of these pathways gives more, not a guarantee of success, but just simply more opportunity. And if you're trying to get success, the logic would seem to dictate that the more opportunity you have at that success, the higher the probabilities become that you obtain that success. Right? Is that fair logic? Or am I just I don't know. Maybe that's flawed logic. Clay Hater. I saw that question already, but you're starting to blow things up. Like I said, if you want me to answer a question, $5 super chats, make sure I'll answer it right away. But please don't spam questions because if it's that important, then just do the $5 super chat. But I'm not ignoring questions, but when I start to see a question pop up multiple times, it's just okay, if it's that pressing of a matter, just do the $5 super chat and I'll answer it right away. As I've been saying, that's what the $5 super chat gets you. I'll see your comment right away and I'll address it immediately right away. Don't have to do the $5 super chat, but then you're taking on some risks that either I don't see it or maybe I don't get to it for quite a while after you ask it. So just keep that in mind. If it's a pressing question, hey, $5 super chat, I'll get to it just like that. If not, you got to be patient and got to be willing to take the risk that maybe I missed it within the storm. The trading was easy, everybody to do it. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, trading is hard. And I think everybody here understands. I don't, well, if you showed up thinking that trading was some easy thing that happens overnight and it's a magic pill, that would be wrong. Trading is hard regardless. Not because that's what some people do. Well, not that many people get payouts. It's yeah, well, not that many people ever make money in trading. So what are you arguing? All you do is you're making an argument that trading is hard. Well, yeah. That has nothing to do with the prop firm rules. It has to do with trading is hard. Prop firms give people more opportunity. Would you mind pulling up a futures contract and show.enter and T, wait a second. I'm so confused. T, were you not on the live stream on yesterday? Weren't you? Yeah, you were on the live stream yesterday, right? Maybe I'm like, maybe I'm getting him confused with somebody else. Right there. If you go to blog and then you search for futures, I have a video right here. How to buy a futures contract. How to short a futures contract. There you go, T. But I was asking you that because I could have sworn you're on the live stream, and I mean I was buying and selling stuff like right then and there. I don't. Maybe you stepped away and never saw the trades when that happened. I suppose that's a possibility. But yes, right there. No, you were there longer than briefly. Well, anyways, there you go. There's the blog. In the right-hand column right here, just search. Type in futures. And then down, you'll see this. You'll see this. Over here, if you click on Futures Trading 101, there's an entire free 4-part series. Just scroll down so you can start on class 1. That'll tell you what the futures market is, all that. So there you go, good sir. Hey, we're almost at 50. If you are enjoying, if you're learning something, make sure you hit that like button. Let's make a run up over 50. And do we got 4 likes out there? The live stream is great. I catch it on my lunch break. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying the live stream. It seems to be slowly growing, which is good. So yeah, if you wanna. And as long as it keeps growing, I mean, I imagine I'll keep doing it. I think I was a little overambitious. I was like, man, I want a goal of having 1,000 viewers, at once, concurrent viewers. But it is growing, but kind of slow. So I don't know. Maybe that was a little overambitious, but I'm enjoying it. And as long as I'm enjoying it, I'll keep doing it. Just like these Saturday morning things. This is fun for me. And as long as I keep enjoying stuff, I'll keep doing it. But I want to make sure people are interested. Okay. Well, hey, I guess that's the holy grail. Trade oil or platinum. Just mark your support areas and set alerts. You can just use phone and not have to watch charts for hours and can make tens of thousands. Wow. All right. Well, there it is. There it is. Trade oil or platinum. Find some supports, buy at the supports, and then you make thousands. Thanks. Well, I'm not concluding things right now. I'm just commenting in general. But back to SBEV. So we have that as definitely the key area of resistance, 200 period. We have the 50-day simple moving average right there. So in a sense, we basically have what I would call if we just use the moving averages, then we use that right there. Basically a bull flag pattern right now on the daily time frame. Dropping on the 30. Yeah, that seems to be definitely a key area of resistance. Not only is it the trend line, but the purple line right there, that 50 period moving average is basically right at the same value to there. So if the price can come up and push up, whoops, that was not supposed to be that. If the price come up here and push up, that could definitely get it some nice upside movement. I was Jamie in the webinars, but changed to Jamie K because there was other Jamies here. K meaning, okay, all right, you're that Jamie, cool. Do you own prop firm accounts? Yes, I do. Yep. I am using I am recommending who I use, who I've gotten payments from. So I know that they pay because I've been paid by them, and many other members have been paid by them. So yes, I do Pam's Plant. I am day trading futures through a prop firm. I am definitely Pam's Plant. Yeah, Clay Hater, your strategy seems a bit simplistic to conclude with and can make tens of thousands. I mean, I'm not rejecting that you can make tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, a blind drunk monkey could show up, trade something, and make tens of thousands of dollars. But can a blind drunk monkey consistently make tens of thousands of dollars? That's where the discussion gets a little bit more nuanced. But I'll accept your premise that yeah, you can make tens of thousands of dollars doing any strategy. But that's why trading's hard. That's why the market's hard, because that doesn't necessarily mean you have a sustainable strategy. It might just mean you got lucky, right? Because people can get lucky. That's where the false hope is built. That's where when bubbles occur. Think back to AMC. Who remembers AMC, GME, all that? If you're really old, remember when marijuana stocks did their big booms? People thought that they were, woo. They called me a hater, actually. Oh, you're just hating on me. I'm like, I'm trying to help you out. You're sort of just getting lucky. That's a really bad strategy, but I'm making all this money. You're just jealous of me because you're not making all this money. No, I'm just telling you that that's actually not a good strategy. We call that fool's gold. So the market does give out fool's gold. It can make you think you're doing something well. So, yeah, trading platinum and gold, doing what you're doing, yeah, you could probably make tens of thousands. I don't know if you can consistently do it. I think there's probably a little bit more that goes into it than just setting some support areas and trading on your phone. Do you remember the last time you lost an account? Wednesday, I lost 2 accounts. I got stuck in a spike, and then I went on tilt. And I roasted another. I think that was Wednesday, so I had to put myself in the penalty box. Exactly. Live stocks trading streams attract more viewers than futures because more traders are into stocks. Yeah, no, that's the model. That's why I still do my top 10 stocks at the end of every day. Because like I said, my main, I've talked about my business model multiple times. The business model here is to funnel people into Pam's plan. I want to attract the stock traders and the options traders and the Forex traders and the crypto traders, so I can explain to them that in the category of day trading, they are wasting their time, they're being inefficient, and they're taking on more risk than they need to. And then I can show them a better way. And wouldn't you know it, I can actually make some money doing that. So it seems like that's a good win-win. I'm getting compensated for my time. They're getting something out of the deal by receiving a better idea relative to what they were doing. All jokes aside, I want to join mentorship. Do you... I don't know what that word is. Do you... that had to have been a typo. Do you Zika to monitor students? You got a cat? Maybe a cat ran across your board on that one? The GME short squeezing 20 is what got me in. Oh, yeah. A ton of people got in the markets through COVID and through all that sort of stuff. I mean, it made sense, though. Everybody is locked in their homes. Constantly on the news headlines is the stock market. And then the government is just, here, Stimmy, want another check? You want another check? You get money, and you get money, and you get money. We're like, well, I don't really need money. I still have my job. I'm just but okay, I'll take the money. Well, I have all this extra money. Yeah, why don't I put it in the markets or whatever? So, somebody mentioned earlier Google. So let's take a look at Goog. Oh, what's up with Meta was no, yeah, that was green. What are our tech stocks? Nvidia, green. What's a stock that would be good for Google? Like a direct comparison to Google. Elias, with all due respect, you're almost turning this into like a personal interview here. If you check out my website, there's a bunch of stuff there. At this point, you seem way too skeptical, and I try to remove myself from the equation and just present the math to you of Pam's plant and how it makes sense, mathematically speaking. So, but right now, it's just coming across as almost like, I don't know. I don't know if you're and that's fine. I don't have a problem. If you're brand new, then be skeptical. That's totally fine. But right now, it seems as though you're a little bit too skeptical of everything. So it's, MSFT. Okay. No, yeah, kind of, I guess. Yeah, green. So I'm just, what throws me off here is why did Google red? So many of these, SMCI, I don't know if that's a direct, still green, Amazon, here we go, Amazon would be green. So yeah, right off the get-go, that's bizarre. All these other tech stocks ultimately turned out green on the day, yet Google came down. So ultimately, the 50-day simple moving average right there did turn into resistance. Yeah, that's weird. You see all those levels up there. I'll get rid of them for now. But yeah, all right. Well, so right there on of itself, a little bit more bearish on Google headed into the new week just because all these other stocks had such a nice day, closed green, all that. And then here we have Google red on the day. What's a 30-minute looking like? Actually kind of a little falling wedge pattern within the pattern itself. So if that's our support, at least I think it's a falling wedge. Let me cook. Yeah. So that's yeah, that's encouraging. It is still put in higher low. So I mean, from a pattern standpoint, yeah, but it's just weird. That is weird. So for example, Google was pulling back, but now let's look at like a 30-minute of I think Amazon. What was that doing? Amazon, like, yeah, look at Amazon spending that while Google was pulling back. Amazon was going up. MSFT again, while Google is pulling back, going up. So yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. No. My email is open at all times, and if students need anything, they can reach out to me. But that's not my style. It's not. I'm not gonna. Let me put it this way, because I see where you're coming from. A person that truly wants to find success is gonna hold themselves accountable and admit to themselves, yeah, maybe I should have Clay look at this. But me, it would be very inefficient of my time if I just started monitoring all my students. Because believe it or not, some students they're just not as motivated as other ones. And I don't want to be knocking on the door of somebody, hey, I noticed this, if that person's not really in it, right? But if you are reaching out to me because you're monitoring yourself and you're concerned about things and you're reaching out to me, well then from my time management standpoint, that tells me, all right, this is going to be a good use of my time because this person clearly cares. They're making the initiative to reach out to me. So you're not going to get like my cell phone number. That's not how the mentorship works, but my email is always open and you're always interacting with me. It's a smaller scale thing. So it's not like I have thousands of students where I have to like divvy you off to like coaches. No, it's just you would be interacting with me. But yeah, I don't monitor in that sense. Hopefully that makes sense. It's from the business side of things, and from like, I do have 6 kids. They're all at home. I have a family. Believe it or not, I have a life outside of this. So I need to be careful with my time. So chasing down people, if I'm monitoring everybody's things and that's just time efficient. But if I just operate on the premise that somebody that's serious about their trading, cares about their trading, if I operate on that premise that they would reach out to me, then I think that's going to be the best use of my time. I read somewhere they lost a case of monopolizing the market and had to pay a chunk for it. Oh, maybe that. Okay, that may, so they had some negative news. That would make more sense. Oh, elusive. Okay. Does that make sense, Clay Hater? That'd be hilarious. Wouldn't that be hilarious if the guy that showed up with Clay Hater actually joined the mentorship? That'd be hilarious. They'd be like, well, I definitely did not see that coming. Yeah, exactly, James. That's yeah, I don't know. Elias is that's true. I should have just addressed that. Like, if you're just totally freaked out by prop firms, right, let's just assume that it is a scam. Let's assume that I am a scammer and that I am in cahoots with this prop firm here, okay? I'm in cahoots. It's a scam. I'm out to get you. I'm going to get you, okay? It's all a scam. This is just one elaborate scam. Okay. You're out $105. That's it. You're out $105. Because you'll notice that during the checkout process, they're using encrypted, all the typical payment stuff that you've heard of before. You'll notice that they're not asking for date of birth or social security number, and none of that stuff. They're just, it's very, so worst case scenario, this is a scam, you're out $105, okay? But yes, I do also stand though that it can almost sound too good to be true, because this stuff does sound too good to be true, but I mean, it's not. Have you looked at the Bulls and Bears volume indicator in the community indicators? I like it, kind of like it level. No, I haven't looked at that, Jamie. There's a lot that I haven't quite looked at, but I'm also always super skeptical of. I'm kind of a man of not high intelligence, so I like to use the KISS method wherever possible. Keep it simple, stupid. So the more things I add in, the less simple it becomes, and because I'm stupid, I'm not going to be able to keep up. I'm not saying that you're overdoing it. I'm just saying that's why I'm kind of slow and skeptical when it comes to considering other means and ways to go about things. Hey, we're at 52. Very good. Good. We hit 50. Again, if you're enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. If it seems like you learned something or whatever. I think. But TradeZilla allows you to replay students trade to better. Well, I will do a. You can come on a Tuesday night webinar and I'll walk you through a trade and we can talk in real time. So that's how I do it. Like that's how I do it, Clay Hater. But no, I am not. Now, if you want to personally sign up for TradeZilla and then show me a trade and ask for my thoughts on a trade, I can do that. But it seems as though when you use the word monitor, no, I don't monitor my students and their progress. Because again, I don't have the time for that. And that would put me at risk of wasting my time. Because if I'm having to knock on somebody's door, hey, I've been monitoring you, you're not doing good. And if that person's not actually that serious, well, then I don't want to use my time on somebody that's not serious. But if you were to reach out to me, that would be a sign that you are serious. So if you say, hey, Clay, I'm having some struggles. Can you take a look at this trade through TradeZilla? I'd be like, sure, let me take a look. I'll give you my thoughts. Yeah, a lot of people show up and act like degens. But believe it or not, a lot of people show up in the markets to act like degens. Like that degenerate trading has nothing to do with prop firms. In fact, I would argue prop firms give the degenerate trader a better chance because, as I've already said, degenerate traders, they can make their money last longer with a prop firm. But I mean, a degenerate gambler is going to be a degenerate gambler whether they're using their own money or within the prop firm landscape. Both are going to go to zero, but with the prop firm landscape, they're not going to go to zero as quickly. But yes, it's crazy to think that a lot of people show up in the markets and then just treat the thing like a casino. I think if you've been around long enough, we all know a couple people like that. Are you talking about for students, Clay Hater? What's the minimum you recommend to start trading? David, good question. We got to get ourselves in the right category. Are you wanting to swing trade, day trade, or invest? Now, you did say trading, so are you talking swing trading or day trading? Swing trading mean you like to buy and sell in the same day, do that multiple times. Swing trading being you know maybe you want to buy on Monday and sell on day. So what I would recommend then, minimum amount is I would say you'd want to do Pam's Plant. So Pam's Plant is right here, and with Pam's Plant, you can day trade as much as you want. Now, if you have less than $25,000, then you're not going to be able to be a day trader in stocks and options because of the pattern day trader rule. But with futures trading, there's no pattern day trader rule. So right there, if you want to be a day trader, futures will allow you to be a day trade where you can buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell as many times as you want every single day. So the amount that you would need, and this is where the next part, so you want to day trade futures with a prop firm. And the prop firm is nice, or one of the reasons they're nice is the low capital required. So to answer your question, how much money do I recommend to get started? Well, you would need $105. With $105, you're going to get $25,000 in purchasing power. And then you're going to need to pass a test. So you're going to need to be able to show that you can make 1,500, not allowed to lose 1,500. And then after you pass the test, you go from the test phase into the pro phase. And then this is where when you once you begin to make money, you get to start to keep the money that is made. So that is the bare minimum that would be required to be a day trader, and day trade as often as you want, 105. Now, if you fail and you break the rules, now when I say you lose 1,500, this is not real money. The test phase is all a simulator. Again, it's test. Somebody once said it's like a job interview, and that's a way you could look at it. But in this phase, if you do, like I said, fail the test and you lose $1,500, again, that's not $1,500 out of your pocket, but you would lose the account. You could get the account back again for another $100. So basically, you could have 3 accounts. You could do 3 accounts, have 3 tests for all in of, I guess, what would that be? 305. Right? Because after this first payment, which is 105, if you want to, quote unquote, get your account back to try again, to try to get to the pro, it would only be $100. So with Pam's plan, that's what I mean. Low capital is required. Does that make sense, David? No, I get it, Elias. It does look too good to be true. But again, let's just say, again, it just becomes like Jamie was saying. Let's just assume it is too good to be true. It's a scam. You would be out $105. Which strategy you have, Clay? I'm a technical trader. I use candlestick charts. I am a technical trader. And we all have our own strategy. Not a single person has the exact same strategy. So, but I that's why I just say in general, I'm a technical trader. I use charts. No idea. No, how do you track own stats? I've used, well, Tradeovate will track stats for you. So Tradeovate's built in, has a bunch of cool features to track trades. I've used, I can't remember. No, that's Trader View. Let me look. Now this is going to drive me nuts. Oh, TraderView. I've used TraderView before. Granted, they reached out to me and were like, "Hey, can you use the platform? And we can set up a little promotion." So that was a reach. But to answer your question, I've used TraderView before. But yeah, with Tradeovate, again, the platform that you can get through the prop firm, that they have a bunch of stats collecting in the platform itself. Is this a program for new traders? Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's nothing to do with whether you're a new trader. It's just, you asked how much money is needed, and I was just saying, well, the bare minimum to get into the markets as a day trader, which is why I asked you, do you want to be a day trader, David? And you said, yeah. And you also asked, well, what's the minimum amount? That's what I was walking you through. The minimum amount to get into the markets as a day trader and be able to day trade as much as you want is 105. But yes, you do have to know what you're doing, but that wasn't your question. You were just asking, hey, I'm a beginner. What's a good amount to start with? Or how much you recommend starting with? And I said, well, you're going to do at least have 105. Yeah, I mean, you do need, you got to have a strategy, stuff like that. If I started payments for the mentorship, do I have to wait until payment till I have your start? Nope. You can start. I can start, but it's got to still be relevant to like what class you've paid for. So if you're starting to ask for things that are in classes to come, well, it's like, okay, well that information is coming your way. Just keep at it. But if it's like, hey Clay, I just finished up this video and on this topic, can you know what's going on? Well then, okay, that would be on topic. But if it's something like I said, that's like, okay, I see what you're asking. You're gonna get those answers, but that's to come in videos, no pun intended, videos in the future. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome, David. So I would say yes, this is a platform for beginners in the sense of, as beginner David, as somebody that's new, you're going to do dumb things, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to be like, whoa. So I would rather have a dumb mistake cost you 105, which is the cost of the account, rather than if you're using your own money and that same exact mistake costs you $1,500. If you have one of those, wow, that was dumb, but I learned a lot. I would rather have the whoops, that was dumb, I learned a lot, cost me 105 as opposed to $1,500. So yes, if you're a beginner, then I would say this is a very quote unquote safe environment, because part of it is how it's got in the added risk control via just how you protect your own money, and you protect your own money because very little of your money is required to get started with the account in the first place. Man, we got some people cooking with some good questions and so on. Thinkorswim was my choice for charting and news forever. The Trader View was a go, but Tradeovate is super simple, so that's my go-to now. Yeah, Tradeovate does make it nice. It is hard, Elias. Nobody's going to give you a percentage of, how realistic it is, because nobody knows anything about your willpower. Nobody's known nothing about how serious you actually are. So you just can't know that. You just got to give it a try and see what happens. Just know that it's not easy. It's hard. Got to know that. Do you address how much psychological effect? Yeah. There's quite a bit of psychology in the classes. In fact, on that note, it's funny. One of the classes is shorting for profit, and it's all about shorting, giving you some broad strategies that you can fine tune to your personal liking. But the class is shorting for profit. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So this one right here. So right here. Shorting for profit is designed all about, okay, how to make money when prices go down. But I've had so many people be like, Clay, that helped me. It was good from the shorting side, but that helped make me a better long-sided trader, because you mapped out the psychology in a way that I was like, oh yeah, that would be helpful from a long side perspective. That helped me get better at buying, because there's a lot of psychology that goes into this. That, again, like I said, I'm not claiming to be a genius. Like, I meant to do it. I did not mean to do it. It just happened where apparently when you're learning how to do the shorting for profit, then a lot of people have said, yeah, that actually helped me better become a long-sided trader because of all the psychology and how you kind of just arrange things. And it was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So right here, I focus a great depth on trader psychology in this class. So even if you only feel comfortable going long, this class will still show you about your own psychology and what you'll need to be aware of and avoid. Like I said, I must have added that in after I got enough feedback from people, because that right there was never my intention that I'd be able to help people going long. But it is what it is, brother. Trading has one of the highest failure rates. The answer to your question is based on how much you've studied, learned. Yeah, I mean, Elias, I'm very biased. Like, I can say, well, Elias, I believe that I can increase your odds of success if you take my mentorship. But I get it that I don't have any credibility, because you're going to say, well, I mean, of course you're going to say that. You're selling something. You want me to sell, or you want me to buy your thing. Of course you're going to say that. And that's totally fair. Like, I 100% understand I have zero credibility in that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, yes, the program has been around. I mean, there was many students in here. I mean, this past week we had like 4 or 5 students posting their payouts from prop firms. They're getting payouts. They're getting paid. And they're getting paid way more than they ever invested into the program. But, so, Elias, if you want to increase your odds, I would argue get my mentorship and do Pam's plan. But again, I do fully understand that I don't have a whole lot of credibility in that, because you can just throw in my face, which is totally fair. Well, yeah, duh, yeah. Of course, you're going to tell me to get your mentorship. I know. I have no leverage in that way. But if you're looking to increase your odds, that's what I would say. My mentorship in combination with Pam's plant, we're seeing. In fact, just on YouTube, I think Thursday or something, somebody posted some gains. They got paid. Yes, you will get that, Clay Hater. All I'm saying is that it's got to be on topic to the class that you're on. So if you want like immediate, like let's talk everything, then just go all in. If you want the payment plan, then you can't be asking about stuff that comes later on because you have not made that payment yet. And I need to be fair to those students that have made that payment. So I'm not going to just start talking to you and teaching you a bunch of stuff that you have not yet paid for when other people have. So yes, you will get direct access to me with payment number one. But I want to be very crystal clear with you that it's got to be on topic to what you've paid for thus far, right? Because I want to be fair to the people that have, that would be very kind of scumbaggy of me to be like, yeah, you paid for all that, but and this person only paid for that, but I'm going to start to teach them all this stuff because they only paid for that. And I'm not saying that you're expecting me to be, unfair. I'm just saying that's why it's got to be on topic. So yes, you will get one-on-one. You'll get direct access to me. You can, like I said, send me over your trades. Like, let me know. I like email because we can keep track of our conversation. You can always refer back to it, but you can email me anytime. All I'm saying is it's just got to be on topic. It can't be for something that's to come. But if you just want to talk about anything and everything, then just go all in. Just go all in. And then you don't have that concern. Ninja Trader seemed way more complicated than Tradeovate. I got stuck in trade where Tradeovate has an exit button. Yeah. It's kind of like anything out there, right? You have it gets a little bit tribal. I'm Team Robinhood, I'm Team Webull, I'm Team Thinkorswim, I'm Team Ninja Trader, I'm Team Tradeovate. You just got to figure out, what ultimately works best for you. For most that may be unsure, they should know Clay was trading and teaching long before trading became social media cool thanks to COVID. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, I started this. I mean, I was in trading way before I even started the site, but the site and the channel started in 2013, which was, a good 7 years before COVID. Yeah, SM. But man, and you just started, you bought my kids, pizza on Thursday? So SM just started Pam's plant. And I know SM, I don't want to speak for him, but he's enjoying futures trading so far. Let's take a look at the NQ. Ooh, bit of a spicy close. All right, so NQ, for you futures traders out there, this is the showdown on the daily chart. Is it going to be able to get up there? And if so, is it going to break? Again, I'll still field questions. Feel free to ask whatever. I'm just trying to keep not having dead space here. But fantastic questions. Good stuff. If you have a request for something else, let me know. I mean, if we can put together another week like this, then, I mean, the distance from here to there, I mean, that's not unreasonable. That seems like it's well within striking distance. But yes, in a way, I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. Let's just first see if we can clear through that. Then we can start to focus on that 200 period. Clay Hater, okay. I'm going to just say this. If you're still that skeptical, then just don't sign up. It's enough to make it worth my time. That's what I've always said from day one. Hey, how much you make? Enough to make it worth my time, okay? If you've ever noticed, I'm not, I'm not really driving around Lamborghinis. That's just not, like, I get it. All I'm saying is, if you don't think that I can teach you, if you don't like my stuff, then don't sign up. And here's the thing. If I tell you, let me just say this. I got $10 million. Does that actually help you at all? What happens if we had this? Let's say that we had somebody that made $0, somebody that made $10 million. And then you look at their students. The one that made 0 has successful students getting payouts. The one that made 10 million doesn't have any. Like, which one would you actually want to go with? I would say you'd want to go with the one that's actually a good teacher. How would you know they're a good teacher? Well, because they have students that are making money. The other one maybe is a super good trader, but they're a terrible teacher because they make 10 million, but they don't have any profitable students. So again, I make enough to make it worth my time, but I don't need to go beyond that. I like to kind of just live a simple life. But if you don't trust me, if that somehow is gonna, then fine. But I have so many students that have posted so many payouts that if that's not good enough for you, that's fine. But I've also found that people that are so skeptical, like you seem to be, like we don't really jive a lot, because if you're going to be that skeptical the entire time, it's just not gonna mesh well. So, and again, that's totally fine if you don't. No, unless you're going to tell me, unless you show me your bank statements, unless you show me audited financials, I don't trust you. Therefore, I'm not going to let you. Totally fine. I get it, and I wish you nothing but the best. But at the same token, I'm not saying this is you. At the same token, some people, you could show them audited finances, and then they would be like, well, yeah, you just paid off the auditor, though. You paid off your accountant. Again, I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying that there's a reason why there's really no point in showing stuff anyways, because most people, they're not going to believe you anyways. They're just going to take it to the point where they're literally accusing you of paying off the auditor, right? Clay, you don't trade, and then I show you that it's trading. Well, okay, you do trade. You don't make any money, and I'm like, I show them some money. Well, that was only a week. Okay, well, here's a month worth of. Well, that's only a month. Show me a year. Then you can show me a year. Well, show me 10 years. Well, that's all fake. Audited financials. Here's audited financials. You paid off the auditor. So at the end of the day, like I said, I've kind of figured it out. Been around since 2013. I have so many students now. It's crazy. There's plenty of payouts. So if you're that skeptical, that's fine. I'm just saying that I don't know if we're going to be the best jive if you're still that skeptical. My kids are fed. I got a roof over my head. When it's cold, I can turn on the furnace. Life is good. Life is good. And nothing against people. If they want to flash that stuff, hey. I'm not really a car guy, but I mean, yeah, some of those cars, they're cool looking. Flying is okay. But hey, if they got a private jet, that's cool. Good for them. Like I'm not a big watch guy. Maybe I should be, because I think there is an investment component to it. But if they want to flash your watches, that's cool. Good for them. In fact, I would say probably actually really good for them, because I do think there's an investment component to it. So like they're being actually smart with their investment. But, I'm just a simple man. Just trying to put on, I got 6 kids. I'm just trying to feed my 6 kids. Does Trade-O-Vate have hotkeys? That's a good question. I do not know. I would assume so. I just trade from the chart. I just like to click on the chart. Click buy, click sell. Oh, thank you, Kurt, for your assistance there. Hi, Clay. Do you know Apex payout stuff? Nope. I do recommend Apex, but that's why I tell you, if you're a beginner and you go with Apex, you're going to think you're getting scammed, because Apex is not a scam, but they are definitely for advanced prop firm traders, that is. So I would argue a good goal is to get your foot in the door with Take Profit Trader, get yourself comfortable with the prop firm world, how it works, get those 5 accounts, get them going, and then once you start to feel more comfortable, you get an understanding, step up the next level of rules, because there's going to be way more rules. It's harder to understand. And then you could do it with Apex, because Apex offers more, things. But there's a reason why so many people out there are like, Apex is a scam. Apex is a scam. They're not a scam. But the problem is, brand new beginner traders to prop firms start with Apex, and then they just get overwhelmed with all these rules and this, that, and the other. And in some senses, I feel for them. I get it. In some sense, it's like, well, you kind of did that to yourself. Like you threw yourself into shark-infested waters with all these rules. That is why I do recommend Apex. So again, if you are an advanced trader and you want to support the channel, get the current deals, code Clay, you can do that. But I don't really talk about it too much here, because my goal is I'm just trying to get people into Pam's plant, make them aware of day trading futures, and then introduce them to the prop firm world in a clean, straightforward way, which is what I believe Take Profit Trader to be. But yes, as far as do I know how all that stuff works? Nope. I just know that they do not pay you whenever you want, and they do not pay you in the amount that you want. You have to they scale things up or whatever. Again, doesn't make them a scam, but it's just one of those things where Take Profit Trader is cleaner, because the money you make, you can request that money whenever you want, and you can request it in full. Again, once you get into the pro account. Pro account, that's the key. Good questions. Good questions. Well, I appreciate that, Clay. Like I said, I just want you to feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable with me, I get it. It's the internet. But like, I literally have, now this doesn't make me right. This doesn't make me like the best. This doesn't make me necessarily anything. I've been around since 2013. The only reason I say that is because I've worked with a lot of traders now over the years. And I can say this, the people that show up all skeptical, it's like, it's just not going to be a good working relationship. But if you do, great. I look forward to working with you. Which would, like I said, which would be one of the great ironies. Somebody showed up and I was ready, like, okay, oh wow, now we're getting trolls on Saturday. Somebody with the name of Clay Hater. But if that were to then turn into all of a sudden you're part of the mentorship, that would be hilarious. In a good way, in an unexpected way. So yeah, that's definitely on the daily time frame for the NQ heading into next week. We better look at the ES because I know ES is pretty popular out there. Same general idea, approaching the 50. I would expect this to be pretty potentially rough for ES. I'm going to check NQ. Do we have something like that? Because look at it, you have the double whammy. You have these previous highs over here. And then right now that pink line is, you can barely even see the pink line because it's now hidden behind the red line. So double whammy of resistance right there. Not only is it 200 period, it's also these previous highs. Doesn't mean that it can't be broken. Just saying that this 58, 45-ish area could be pretty stubborn. Let's hop back to the NQ. Does NQ have something like that? Not quite. It looks like that high is a little bit in front of the 50 or the 200 period. Yeah, all right. So same, ES was just, I mean, they were just on top of one another. But here you can see that we have that high right here. But technically speaking, it's slightly in front of that area. But I mean, I guess we're pretty much saying the same thing. Let me put it this way. If the price were to come up here and break that red line, I would not get overly excited because looming very, very closely up overhead is the 200 period right there. So again, breaking 20,575, that's a good step in the right direction. But like I said, I wouldn't rejoice too much because then you have to deal with potentially that 200 period moving average. Is there any additional cost apart from the payment for the account? I don't want to answer this because now you're going to be like, no, it seems way good to be true. But no, there's not. There's not. Now, I will say this. What makes the deal really good right now, again, if you use the code Clay, not only will you get the deal, but just support the channel. But, and this is all prop firms. But prop firms, you know, they all have the same general structure. You pay for a test, and then after you pass the test, you move it into the pro account. You know, some will call it a funded account, performance. But it's all the same thing. And all of them will have, during this jump right here, so to make this jump, they have something called an activation fee. And normally, the activation fee for Take Profit Trader is $130. So you would have the cost of your test account plus the $130 activation fee, assuming you pass the test. Right now, the deal is the 30% off and then zero activation fee. So all in right now with this current deal, you would literally be all in if you went with the 25,000 purchasing power, you'd be all in for 105, which is kind of bonkers. Even if you had to pay the 130, it's still kind of bonkers that you could be in all total for like $250 and still have the opportunity to make way more money. As I mentioned earlier, Nathan, who is a long time, he's been hanging out since almost day one of the live stream. He had an account that he went $130. He got it to the pro, and then in the pro he made $9,700 before he lost the account because he violated some rules. But before he lost the rules, he had gotten $9,700 in payouts. So all in, he had $130 to make the $9,700. The inner circle, you get access into my Discord chat room. I send out a weekly newsletter. You get those two things. But part of the mentorship is that's included a lifetime membership. Hey, can we make a run up to 60? We're four likes away from 60. Can we get up to 60? That would be amazing. If you're enjoying, hit that like button. I signed up this week and was only charged for the test. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the current deal right now. So, but subscriptions, platform stuff, all that is baked inside of that price you pay when you buy up front. All right, let's check out the... 30, I mean, that's not the greatest way to close out the week, but one candle also doesn't make or break a chart. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, feel free to disagree. Maybe I'm fitting a square peg through a round hole. Let's see. Rising wedge? Do we have a rising wedge going on? Maybe does it? Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a square peg through a round hole. So rising wedge, which is bearish. Now that doesn't mean that anything's going to crash, but when you combine that with the candle here and the fact that this candle formed at the top part of this trend line, is there going to be maybe a pullback to start the week? Again, no guarantees, but I think it's plausible to throw out that question. Not skeptical, you seem legit. Well, like I said, do whatever you think's best. I mean, I don't think this is arrogant sounding, but my life's not going to change. Whatever you decide, I'm good to go. I'm good to go whatever you decide, so I want you to do what's best for you. But I am debt-free, so it's not like I got to pay off any debts. Like my life, I'm just gonna keep living the simple life, regardless what you decide. So I want you to decide what's gonna work best for you. Do you send? Yeah, the Discord make alerts, stuff like that. But you seem to be wanting to learn. So yeah, the alerts are not like, hey, buy here, sell here, do this. No, it's, hey, here's a pattern. Now, what you choose to do with the pattern is going to come up to you because we're all going to have different strategies in that regard. So the goal of the group is we're a bunch of wolves, right? I don't got time for sheep. We're a bunch of wolves. We'll look and we'll point out, hey, look at that. But what you do with that, well, that's up to you because one person may take that and go short. Somebody else may take that and go long. And in some situations, we always laugh because both people end up making money somehow because everybody's got their little nuanced approaches, nuanced strategies. So everybody's got to have their own strategy. So when I say alerts, it's not, here's where you buy, here's your... No, that's for a bunch of guppy sheep. That's not how trading works. That's not how trading works. You got to do what works for you. And in order to figure that out, you got to build something that works for your risk tolerance. So yes, there are alerts, but those are the types of alerts. But like I said, I don't think you were looking for that type of alert anyways because you seem to be wanting to learn how to do it yourself, which is good, which is the goal. The people that are like, well, I don't want to learn for myself. I don't want to actually do anything. Just tell me what to do and I'll blindly follow. Those are the people that have zero chance at hope. But that's not you from what I've gathered. You seem to be wanting to learn. But yes, there are alerts that are made. I give out watch lists. But if you're going to be doing futures anyways, then, I mean, you're going to be trading the same thing every single day. Which is a nice thing about Pam's plant. Another nice thing about futures. Stop scanning, save yourself time, save yourself money. In the world of futures, you're going to pick one or two things, and then that's all you're going to trade because those one or two things give you multiple opportunities every single day. Whereas stocks or cryptos, you got to wake up, you got to run your scans. Where's the volume? Where's the hot stock? Where's the hot crypto? Sometimes you have to pay extra for these scanners. None of that nonsense. I really do feel bad for like companies that sell scanners and stuff like that. You got to think that Pam's plant, now they don't call it Pam's plant, only we call it Pam's plant here, but you got to think Pam's plant is making them very, very nervous. The fact that futures are becoming more and more popular, the fact that there's prop firms that offer all this sort of stuff, and with the futures, you don't need to scan. You don't need to scan. So it's like, you got to think they got to be getting pretty scary. All those people that are selling scanners or anything like that. Oh, somebody did ask about crude. I don't know if they're still here, but let's take a look at crude oil. So crude oil right now, basically from just the daily time frame. Got the, well, let's make it one color, hopefully easier to see. I gotta draw then. I'll be right back. Our two middle daughters are supposed to be putting down my son for a nap. Let me make sure they're doing that. Hey, are you guys getting ready to set them up for a nap? Okay, good job. Good job. Good job. downstairs? Okay, you got the sound machine? Okay, good job. I will say this. If you're wondering whether or not I'm legit, check it out. Okay? So notice the t-shirt, and then the back of it's got a number. Okay? So I have sponsored a softball team before. That therefore makes me legit, right? Is that how that works? If you sponsor a softball team, that makes you legit? I think that's how that works. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the impression I was under. If you can sponsor a softball team, you therefore are totally legit. But yes, do you think the government will put a PDT in place since day traders are migrating to futures? I don't know. I hope not. That'd be an interesting research report. How did pattern day trader rule end up in stocks and options, but not futures? That would be so. That Jamie, why did you make? That would be terrible. But no, I don't think so. I guess anything's possible, but it's this stuff like Pam's plant is not new. Like, it's just new to me. I'm new to doing it because I was so skeptical and leery of it for so long. But I've just seen enough data that it is actually legit that I'm like, all right, I'm going to start doing it. Oh, wow, that's nice. I'm going to start to promote it. So given they haven't done anything yet, again, that doesn't mean that something can't change. But as of right now, so yeah, crude on the daily chart. Yes, but see, Uncle Government knows best. They don't want you trading that money. The one thing, though, that what I would find a problem is the pattern day trader rule in a sense is like, well, we don't want people that don't know what they're doing taking like $10,000 and then like putting that in the market and then just boom, they just lost $10,000. So the one distinction I think and hope would be if they're looking at prop firms, at least that person is saying, okay, well, at least with prop firms, that person's not putting $10,000 of their own money in the market. There's out of that $10,000, they're spending like $150 for a prop firm account. And then maybe they'll go and lose that account and maybe get another account. So maybe all in, they blow 10 accounts, which would still just be basically $1,500 before they realize, yeah, I don't think trading's for me. So we'd rather have somebody lose $1,500 over a course of a long time as they learn that maybe trading's not for them, as opposed to somebody that loses $10,000, poof, just like that, because they're using their own money in the stock market. So maybe that would be what is preventing it, is maybe the market actually prefers people go the prop firm route so that they're not totally roasting themselves within 2 seconds. Pure speculation on my part. I don't know. 30-minute. Oh, 30 minutes looking pretty good here for crude. But have a very well-defined area now. So about 63.35, key area of resistance as we head in the next week on crude oil. You can see right there, knock down the price, knock down the price, knock down the price, knock down the price. You get the idea, knock down the price. So it doesn't mean that it can't be broken, but definitely an area where the sellers are hanging out at. Exactly. You're not a day trader officially until you get your Lambo. That is true. I do have a John Deere tractor, and Lambo makes tractors. Is that good enough? I got a John Deere tractor. Does that mean I have a Lambo? That's an interesting question. Yeah, and if the price can push up through here, I mean, there's some room to run. Really nothing major until up around that level, up around $64, give or take. But yeah, this is clearly a pretty stubborn level right here. It ain't messing around. What's gold up to these days? Oh, gold finally pulled back. Oh, let's look at the daily. Oh, a little bit. Man, gold is just ripping. Again, this is gold futures we're looking at. So right now, just the seemingly a pretty healthy pullback. If that's the former breakout point, so when levels of resistance are broken, they tend to act as support. So that, actually a classic example, this former area of resistance now acting as support. So 32.65 going to be a key level. A tractor is more useful than a Lambo. I would agree with that. A tractor is, well, a tractor is a tractor. It's pretty useful. I'll get behind that sentiment for sure. For sure. And then, yeah, it does seem like on gold, there's a bit of an area of resistance now forming right up here around the 33.86 mark. Let's check this out on the hourly. Ooh, all right, all right. What's going on here? So nice bounce on the hourly, but the big question mark into the next session will be, will the price be able to get up through these areas? We have that purple line, the 50-period moving average. We have that pink line, the 200-period moving average. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, this has been a great move, but this is definitely an area of congestion that could reasonably put up a fight and potentially knock the price back down. No guarantees at all, but if you were to tell me, Clay, I'm thinking getting short like right here, and I'm going to put a stop up above those highs right here, then I could see something like that. I could see something like that making sense. Again, not financial advice, but I'm just saying I can see where you're at. I can see the logic. No, my goal is to use day trading futures for capital to open other revenue streams such as real estate and other business. Hey, all right. You will please do sign up. You'll fit in just fine. That's our whole culture. Is I don't promote. There's not really talk in our community of full-time day trading. No, everybody's goal is like, I want to be a full-time income stream creator, because that's what all wealthy people I've ever studied have done. Wealthy people I study, they have the one thing in common. They all have multiple streams of income. So I love to see that. That's a mentality that tells me you'll fit in very, very nicely, because that's my goal too. I am not a full-time day trader. I have no desire to be a full-time day trader. I want to have many streams of income. That's why I do the trading. Then I have the teaching business, and then I have real estate portfolio. I mean, I literally own a farm now in Iowa. Have dividend stocks. Have a couple others. So yeah, I got stuff going on. And odds are you probably don't know of any full-time day traders either. Before you tell me, well, so-and-so is full-time. Yeah? Who's that? And then you're going to tell me somebody that's got a YouTube channel. Well, they're not full-time, are they? They're making money from their YouTube channel, aren't they? Which is good for them. Good for them. They have multiple streams of income. That is fantastic. But I would push back that they're a full-time trader. No, the goal should not be to be a full-time trader. Can you imagine having your only stream of income come from trading? That'd be so much pressure. I'd never be able to do that. I mean, especially with 6 kids. No way. That would be so much pressure. And that's what I said. I've never met anybody where they're literally their only stream of income. Well, I guess maybe I've met one person if I just default to believe in everything they had to say on the live stream. But even them, they're grinding, and they admit they are grinding really hard right now. And I was trying to tell this person, hey, I recognize something that you said that you could turn into another stream of income. That way you don't have to grind as hard, right? So I'm not looking to grind. I'm not looking to grit my teeth. I'm not looking to work hard. I'm looking to work smarter, not harder. And multiple streams of income, I would argue, means you're looking to be smarter. Yeah. Hey, you got goals? Maybe someday. Just remember me when you get rich and famous. Throw me a bone someday. Just tell people, hey, I went through that goofy-looking guy's mentorship. Now look where I'm at. Just throw out those every once in a while once you're on kicking the mountain. Seems we'll come down to hit the support of 32.65. I see what you're saying. I don't know if I like. I don't think that's crazy, but I would wonder. I wonder. I think there might be quite a bit of support right there at about 32.96. But I would agree if the price can come down through there, especially a high volume break, then I would not be shocked at all if it did come down there and touch that area of support at that point. But I think if this were to roll back over, in my mind, that's kind of the first key area of support that would make sense. Do we have one more like out there? Like, just for my mind, I don't like seeing us stuck at 59. Could we? Is it possible we can just get up to 60 likes? You are living the dream. I bet Iowa is peaceful. No, Iowa, there's pollution everywhere. There's traffic everywhere. Mean people everywhere. All it is corn. That's all I see is corn. That's it. Like pump. Like pump. Robot, I'm not quite sure what that's in reference to. Like pump. You didn't need, Kushni? You didn't need to delete that message. That was a fine thought. Oh. Yeah. Man, it's still stuck at 59. I'm looking at buying. Well, good stuff, Clay Hater. Well, hopefully you do decide to join the mentorship. Well, we're at 2.5 hours, or not 2.5, 2 hours and 15 minutes. It seems as though things have slowed down, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it good. If you do want to, again, what I have to offer, was talking to Clay Hater about it quite a bit. I'll put in the chat room if anybody wants to learn more about my program that I offer. If you want to learn in a structured way, I offer nothing magical. There's no magic system, but it is information structured in a way that you're not going to get overwhelmed, and it's going to make sense because you're going to learn about things in the order you're supposed to learn about them in so that it does make sense, and you're going to avoid being like, oh, I'm so confused. Is this? No, it's going to be a nice, clean learning experience that's been developed since 2013. So I've listened to lots of critiques over the years and have it fine-tuned. So you can check that out if you want to learn more about what I have to offer. And then again, if you want to get into Pam's plant and use the prop firm that I use and recommend, check out that link right here. And if you want to support the channel, if you want my kids to eat, I got 6 of them. If you are anti-child starvation, make sure you use code CLAY. And that'll make sure you get the current deal, current promotion, and make sure that my kids eat. So, thank you, Clay Hater. Man, you withheld that like this entire time? Savage. Savage. Yeah, Jamie K is the mentorship. He's saying to get it. But the skeptics will just say that, Jamie, I'm paying you. So sometimes you're not going to be able to ever convince people. But I don't know. We'll see if Clay Hater actually joins or not, and maybe somebody else does. But, well, I wish you all a good rest of the weekend, and I'll be back. I don't know, there's maybe some storms coming in Iowa on Monday. So I always say, I don't know if my power gets out. But if assuming nothing crazy goes on, I'll be back at the very latest Monday at 11 a.m. You're signing up right now. All right, well, I want you to email me as soon as you sign up. Okay? Clay@claytrader.com. And then we'll start the dialogue. So drop me a message as soon as you or email as soon as you sign up. So thank you everybody for being here. I'll see you back on Monday at 11 a.m. at the one last question. Okay, go ahead. One last question. Perfect. That was my last swig of coffee. Almost my last swig. Oh, the pressure, the intensity is killing me. What's this last question going to be? What's my social security number? What's my date of birth? What are people doing today? Anything special? It was my daughter's birthday on Thursday, so she had a friend spend the night last night, and now my daughter and my wife, and then that friend and that friend's mom are now out shopping. So please, yes, please sign up. Please use the code. As I say that out loud, please use the code. Oh boy, please use the code. I'm kidding. My wife is very responsible. She stays within the budget. And yes, we have a budget. because budgets are how wealth is built. I am waiting. Come on, man. You said one last question. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you. This whole time you haven't been typing? Come on, man. We waited a few minutes and then all of you typed this wait. I have been waiting. I know, one question. You said one last question. I said okay, and we've been waiting. Maybe it chopped out. I don't know. We're waiting, man. I'm waiting for you. We've been waiting. I'm trying to just strike up conversation as I wait. Coffee at Pete's Coffee. Isn't that like a California thing? I remember my brother-in-law was like, you have to try Pete's Coffee. It's the best thing ever. I mean, it was fine, but I think he might have talked it up a little bit too much. But are they like based out of California or something? My brother-in-law used to work for Google, so I guess he was everywhere. They were up in San Jose for a while and then Los Angeles for a while. But I remember he was always just like Pete's Coffee, which makes me think it's a California thing, but I might be wrong. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm not crazy. It is out of California. I know. I think they have national distribution though. Oh. So nobody doing anything fun today? Where are people located at? Just out of curiosity. Like I said, I have been trading stocks for 8 years, just individual shares. You think I need the mentorship? Well, have you been successful trading stocks for 8 years? Like, do you have a viable strategy? Like, are you consistently profitable? You know how to manage risk, all that sort of stuff? Clay, how do you make money on the 105 prop firm? So the 105, step one is you have to pass. You have to pass the test. You've got to prove that you can make $1,500, but you're not allowed to lose $1,500. So they're going to force you to focus on risk management. So that's how the test works. You got to be able to make $1,500, but you can't go act like a degenerate. You got to care about risk management. You got to focus on risk. So they don't want you to lose $1,500. Assuming you can do that, then you go from the test phase into the pro account. And in the pro account, you're once going to be trading. You're once more not allowed to lose $1,500. But so there's still rules there, but the big difference here is in the pro account, you get to keep the money. Well, I know you asked, I already answered. I think there's a delay with Clay Hater. BK did is in Madison, Wisconsin. Does that make sense, David? You go from the test account into the pro account. Again, Clay Hater, you've been trading stocks for 8 years. Like, do you have a consistent strategy? You do have a consistent strategy. Okay, well then no, I don't think you need. I would say this. I would say it would be great. I would say you need the inner circle. You need this. Let me show you what I would say you need. I would go with this instead then. Because if you already have a strategy and that strategy works, the only difference now is you're doing that strategy, instead of doing that strategy on individual stocks, you're doing that strategy on futures. But with that, if you want to surround yourself with a bunch of futures traders that are doing prop firms and futures, just join the community. That is, from what you're saying, that is what all you need. And worst case, maybe you ultimately are like, yeah, I still think I might want the mentorship. Then if you make that decision relatively quickly, I'll just refund you back the amount that you pay for the community, and then you can use that, or I'll let you use it as a credit for the mentorship. Again, that'll have to be relatively soon. Doesn't need to be made within like an hour of you joining, but it can't be like 9 months later or something like that. But yes, based off what you've said, I don't think you need the mentorship. If you've been doing that for 8 years, you have a viable strategy, then you don't need it. All you need is to just take that strategy, and instead of doing it on stocks, just be doing it on futures. You're in Los Angeles? Good. Yeah, David. So good. I'm glad. I'm glad that makes sense to you, David. But as a beginner, and if you don't have a whole lot of money, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like that one. This sounds good to be true. What's the catch? No catch. That makes sense, Clay Hater. Are you all set? And there must be a huge delay with him. All right. Well, I'm gonna assume I'm assuming that he heard my answers. If not, I already gave him my email, so he can email me. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. And like I said, I will be back Monday at the very latest, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And yeah, we'll do some live trading. We'll shoot the breeze. We'll continue on with the normal live stream. But again, I'd say this was a good time. Had a pretty good viewership results. Does PayPal offer payment so I can get full membership and make payment through? PayPal is a payment method you can use if you sign up. But I don't think you need full membership. I think you just need this. If you already have a viable strategy, I don't think you need the mentorship. I would just say you need this. So yeah, full membership just means this right, like, okay, yeah, that link right there, I'm gonna send 1,000,000 times. That is what I would say you would need right now. But and yes, I do take PayPal is a choice to pay out during the checkout process. Are we good, Clay? Clay Hater, are we good? This is very ironic. Somebody showed up with the name Clay Hater, and if I understand right, they're about to join the community. But hey. Nonsense. Just look at support and resistance. It's free. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that has to do with anything. Thank you. You're welcome, David. Are you good, Clay Hater? Are we good? I'm not trying to mislead you into something that you might not actually need. Do you understand, though, that you probably just need the community? That's what I'm concerned about. Are you under the impression to just sign up for the community here? I guess worst case, if he's like, man, you misled me. This has all been recording, so I think we'll just call it because there must be a massive delay with him. I'm not sure why it takes so long. Hello, mate. Well, Franco, we're about to end. We're about to end. So hello, but it's going to be goodbye here in just a second. I just want a little confirmation. Yeah, sorry. Hey, man. Well, the good news is it'll be put in the archive, and you can watch it back. It will be available to watch. Had a good stream. I came from an exam. Well, hopefully your exam went well. On a Saturday? That's interesting. All right, Clay Hater is not... So I'm just going to assume that Clay Hater understood. He's just supposed to get the community. All right, well, take care, everybody. And I will... Yes, we're good. All right, perfect. I will see everybody back, like I said, Monday at 11 a.m. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend.